Nokia business to business rebranding that they did. Daniel, was this just another run of the mill brand change, color change, or something different?
Pat, you and I had the opportunity to attend, I think it was Sunday, right before the show,
Yes.
the Nokia sort of relaunch. It was not just a brand relaunch, but kind of a brand promise relaunch. And, a lot of people out there, Pat, probably remember Nokia for the navy blue handheld devices of the early 2000s. I played that Snake game a lot. It was pretty awesome. It was calling. It actually dominated the market. You could truly say Nokia had a very strong, I don't know, dominant's always a risky word with companies that have licensing in their strategy. But in terms of just their handset business, they became a bit of a global phenomenon, certainly a phenomenon here in the US. Having said that, the BlackBerry became a very big disruptor to Nokia. And after that, it never found its footing in the US the same way. Now, this is a company that has continued to be very valuable in infrastructure, very valuable, in core RAN technologies, working with the big telcos. And so they never went away. But as we've seen, like with IBM, when you move away from selling PCs that people buy at a retail store to being much more critical at the B2B and service level layer, what can happen is brand becomes a bit muted. And then the market's awareness, understanding, and valuation of the brand becomes a little harder to sell. And so Nokia, the CEO, its top leadership, got on stage and didn't only launch a new brand, which was kind of cool, kind of abstract. If we flash it on here, you basically would say there are some incomplete letters, a little bit like Kia, the car company, did. And it became a requirement of our brain to fill in those gaps. For me, it was no problem whatsoever. I thought the company did a good job of kind of painting the picture, telling a story. And the story with the company, oh, look at you and Pekka. There you go. Pat it's not always about Pat, but is this about Pat?
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's about Pat. But there's Pat and Pekka. There's the new brand. As you can see, I think anyone that's known Nokia for a long time would see that picture, understand what the company is. The question is it is it valuable? Does it change? Brand exercises are always one of those things that have a combination of very tangible and very ephemeral. I think what Nokia is saying is it's turned a corner. Its global reputation and role is increasing. The value it's providing and driving to its telco partners and its ecosystem continues to increase. The company is looking to expand its valuation, grow sort of how it's seen in the market as providing the capabilities of the next generation of communications in the 5G era. And it's also really wanting to let people know that we are still early days of 5G and its intentions to not only be part of 5G and 5G plus, but into 6G are palpable. I'm not a Pat, and I'm going to be candid. I give a lot of market strategy advice, a lot of go-to-market strategy advice. I'm not a brand guy, meaning, I have some intuitive feelings about brand. I do not, we're not agency guys. And so you ran marketing corporate for a very large company at one time. But what I would say is to me, the ephemeral part was less important. What was important to me was the fact that the company is in a pivot, it's in a transformation, and it's being very articulate about the importance of its partners. And those missing pieces of its letters were described as sort of it being filled in by its ever growing and ever more important ecosystem partners. I think that message landed at MWC. Obviously, the result, a publicly traded company, in the long run, but congratulations to Pekka and then Nokia.
There are better brand people than I. I have led as a corporate vice president a new brand inside of a company before, but I'm not a brand guy. I'm primarily a strategy guy, which is why I really appreciated the company not just splashing up a new logo with a new jingle, but tying in the corporate strategy. Pekka did a great job going through the strategic called Our Pillars. Those were, in my strategy vernacular, those would be objectives. And then Our Enablers, which again, in my vernacular would be called Our Strategy. So what does a company want to do, right? They want to grow CSP, not to be confused with cloud, but communication service providers faster than the market. So faster than an Ericsson, faster than a Samsung, And I don't even know if we count ZTE or Huawei anymore. Maybe we do. The second one, by the way, they also have to contend with the ORAN folks in the future. Second, expand the share of enterprise. And these could be enterprise services like a private 5G. I think like we saw the tie between them and Kyndryl and the great work they were doing on the next generation of connectivity. The third was actively manage the portfolio. I have to I have no idea what they meant by this, and I put that big question mark on one of my tweets Sunday. I want to figure, were they mismanaging their portfolio before? I don't know. Was this a, hey, we're going to do some inorganic acquisition? That was the question I did ask Pekka. I did like the answer I got from him and the team. Secure business longevity in Nokia Technologies. Essentially, this is mining the Bell Labs and all of the research with the big R. Fifth, build new business models. We saw this in things like Cloud RAN, or sorry, Anywhere RAN. We saw this, or they were hinting to this in the metaverse value chain, which, by the way, kudos to the company for doing this. And then finally, as a service. So I appreciated that it wasn't just splashing the logo up there. They put it in the context of strategy. And the company does need help, particularly with enterprises, getting people off the notion that Nokia means 1990s era smartphones, which, by the way, my first smartphone was a 1990s era smartphone. So, final comment I'll make is I saw this 3D hologram of the Nokia brand that was spinning around, probably in 7 or 8 partner booths. And I wasn't in every booth, so I can imagine, and that is hard to do. So, congrats to the Nokia marketing folks.